So my name is Bisi Obateru, and our mission at JustiGuide is to empower immigration journeys. And we basically empower technology, so we provide help for lawyers to process immigration paperwork faster. We increase accessibility to legal resources for immigrants. And we also use our multilingual platform to help translate and make it easy for immigrants to understand their situation so that they could get more help around it. My background is I'm from Nigeria. I grew up in Lagos. I moved here as a student. And when I moved here, I had only a textbook to tell me which schools were good to go to. I chose Fresno and Chico State because it said amazing engineering program. I called a friend just like after I got into those schools, and they were like, you do not want to go to Fresno. That is not the place to go. So I ended up in Sacramento, and I moved to San Francisco to study urban planning, which is what I'm trained as. And one thing that I took away from urban planning school is that I remember giving a presentation on FAST, the easy pass. And I remember Raquel Pinde-Hughes. I was like, it's gonna be great. We don't have to put people under the rain. I had all these positive things to say about technology. And after it, she said, Bisi, but what happens to the humans? That moment for me really stuck out because it kind of gave me this ability to start to reflect on the unintended consequences of the things that we're so excited to bring to the world today. And I think you shared some of that here. So why did this urban planner decide to take on immigration? Well, I was one of those dumb people. I said, how hard can it be? And in July, after working on a product with Joinable, which was a product that was bringing people together in person, I thought I had now had the skill set. I was ready. So over the summer, I decided to take on ChatGPT. And oh my God, I was inspired. My brain lit on fire, and I was like, imagine what this could do. So I learned how to code. I made a prototype Pocket Lawyer, gave it to my friends. How cool is that? And what I started to learn was all the ways that all of a sudden, even the friends that I was hanging out with were also going through immigration challenges. So that kind of allowed me to start to really go deep into this company, JustiGuide. The presentation I'm going to share with you is one of these reflections that I think all founders go through, which is how do you deploy AI ethically, and who are your customers, and how do you bring them in? I resonate with what you mentioned earlier, because how many of you are immigrants in the room? Lawyers? Anybody know what genius bias is? Okay, I'll leave that with you. We'll talk about that later. But lawyers are very hard to sell to, and this is why I started. And so an urban planner with no legal background, trying to sell to lawyers, the questions they were asking me made me become somewhat of a teacher. I had to explain to them that, yes, I understand all of their concerns, but yet we cannot waste any more time. The time is now. We have to build this product. So what I'm sharing with you today is the slide deck that I started to share with lawyers to try and enroll them into helping us deploy JustiGuide ethically. So asylum seekers, this is my problem statement. Asylum seekers are faced with a lot of challenges today, from complex paperwork that they have to fill, to backed up court system, to financial burdens and trauma. And so all of these use cases made JustiGuide, an agent, be something that can really simplify these complexities and make it easy for these clients outside of the United States to find lawyers in our network. So that is what our platform does. But when you think about deploying AI, there's hallucinations, there's concerns around their data privacy, and also hallucinations, like lawyers really fear this. And then there was that New York court case that really put everything to shit. And as a founder, pardon my French, but as a founder, you're faced with a conundrum. You're trying to, maybe it's better to build my own model. And then we tried the RAG pipeline database that was supposed to help make the form filling feature a lot easier, but it was really challenging. And it didn't have the same dynamics that we wanted for the immigrants to really feel understood and be able to share exactly what their pain points are. So we started talking about how do we evaluate these models. So we created something called a customer advisory. So I started sharing with lawyers all the advantages, of course, that AI could bring to them. And then they kept on talking about bias, and I said, okay, here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna, try giving it USCIS information. We're gonna try, all these different things, and then test it out. So lucky for us, we got eventually 25 lawyers involved, and we started to get this amazing community of feedback where we try something and then we put it in their hands. We say, how did it do? Do you like it? Is it going well? And so this is my little AI illustration of our little system that we put in place. And this continuous evaluation started to feel very promising because some of the things we were able to achieve by moving to a larger language model and be able to prompt engineer and put some guardrails to make sure it wasn't giving legal advice and things like that. And then, of course, we do all this, and then 2 months ago, 273 Ventures releases a model from scratch for enterprise. So 6 months of talking to all these lawyers, coming up with new ways to get this thing, and then just like that, boom, new LLM, started from scratch, no hallucinations, just rates. It even got Ed Newton certified training. So now all you have to do is just show the model to lawyers and they're like, oh, interesting, right? So the space is changing fast, but I think I'm sharing this story again because I think at every step of the way we have to keep thinking about this, right? We just can't deploy things. And I feel very humble in this space because I'm not a technologist myself, and I was lucky to use AI to learn, and I continue to be an avid learner through our customers, both the immigrants and the lawyers, as we continue to build these models for them. So the beautiful thing about the KL3M model from 273 Ventures, it took care of all of the concerns that we were hearing from lawyers and how they were thinking about AI and the hallucinations and the possibility of it automating their work. And it's made those conversations a lot smoother. We're hoping to partner with them. We are not using that model right now. We are still using OpenAI, and we're doing a transferred learning, and we're probably gonna build our own model if it makes sense too. But this is just some of the ethical dilemmas that founders often have to go through. And I would just wanna share that we're very happy with the 2 products that we have out. We have Relo, which helps with relocation data. We give migrants back, and this was not because this is what we wanted to do. This is an informed thing because we realized we didn't want to do the unauthorized practice of law. We wanted to make sure that we could start to change immigration as a conversation that is so emotional to a conversation that really starts to think more from a data-driven perspective. So going back to my journey as an immigrant, when I wanted to come here, I only had a textbook. Now the next immigrant probably has Relo, and Relo gives them information around labor shortages in parts of the United States, so they can think about maybe that place will be a better place for them to get absorbed. It also gives them information around visa wait times, so then they don't always think that the US is the only place for them. And we also allow them to be able to fill a form and then connect to a lawyer. So this direct-to-consumer product was not our intention when we started, but because of us going through this rigorous process of always considering our end user in mind and also trying to be compliant and also trying to understand what the industry is moving towards, allowed us to come away with this amazing product that's now taken off and is building a lot of traction. So with that said, thank you.